This is the Love Truth Leadership Podcast. Your hosts, Nick Johnson and Larry Chatterley, welcome you on your journey of self-improvement and connection. Listen as they combine their different experiences of life to help guide you in the direction of love, truth, and leadership. Hi, I'm Nick.
I'm Larry.
This is the LTL show. This episode is going to be short and sweet. I know I've said that before and made things long, but anyways, I promise this time we're going to be real quick. Take up 20 minutes of your time. But today we're going to talk about a little thing called the S.A.V.E.R.S routine. And it's from the book, The Miracle Morning.
By Hal Elrod.
Yeah. It's a really good book because it teaches you how to start your morning in a productive way with intention to lead out and have a good day. And then it breeds in, habits for success, basically, is what it brings in. What's the book mean for you, Larry?
Yeah, when I first read this book, I liked the simplicity of it. You could spend as much as a few minutes or couple hours on it. But I feel like if you just spend a few minutes in each area, even if it's only 10 minutes, it has a huge impact on the rest of your day.
Yeah.
I mean, exercise, there's 5 elements of that, exercise being one of them. And the problem is that probably may take up most of the time. But even if it's only 5 minutes of something or 10 minutes, it still will have an impact.
Yeah.
And then you can expound on that, So preferably exercise should be at least 20 minutes. But, even if you get 5 minutes in there, it's telling the brain, hey, that this matters and that you can, and that it can make a big difference.
Yeah. So they call the routine the S.A.V.E.R.S routine. And the reason why they call it is because it's S.A.V.E.R.S. The first S being silence. So meditation, just prayer, anything that you can do where you're enjoying the quiet and you're alone with your thoughts or trying to not have thoughts, just clear your mind for the day. Affirmations, so you can set intentions, boost confidence, set the program for the day. I like to use my affirmations. I practice affirmations in a few ways. I combine affirmations with my gratitude journaling. Like, I am so happy and grateful now that I have this thing, so that's affirming it for me that I have it. And at the same time, I'm practicing gratitude having it. Visualizing is the V. See what you want for yourself. Visualize your goals, visualize the day and how you're going to act, behave throughout the day. Again, E is exercise. Reading. I necessarily don't read. I listen to books, which I guess is pretty close. Right after I'm done doing my journaling and my meditating, and then I get out of the shower where I practice my visualization and my affirmations. I practice those in the shower. So while I'm scrubbing myself down, I'm, thinking about my day and then what I want for my future, visualizing our podcast and how much I want it to grow and all that kind of stuff. And then right after I get out of the shower, I'll turn on Audible, put a book on while I'm getting dressed. And, so I combine everything into my routine. And so I'm listening to the book while I'm getting ready to leave the house. And then the last S is scribing. So that's where the journaling comes in. And you don't have to practice these in the order that they're listed either. So whenever, like for my S.A.V.E.R.S routine, I wake up, I go and sit up. First thing I do actually is I brush my teeth, splash some water on my face, get a little bit more alert, go make my coffee, and then while my coffee's brewing, I take my vitamins and my probiotic pills and stuff, and I get a full glass of water and drink that full glass of water, rehydrate. I mean, I think you lose, I don't have the numbers, but you actually learn about this in the Miracle Morning, that you lose a lot of water when you sleep, just through your breath, basically. Or if you sweat when you sleep, you're going to lose some water, if you're having those night terrors and you're sweating. And then I drink my water, get my coffee ready, then I go sit down at my desk and I start my journaling. And then I journal and do all that stuff. And then I go in, right after I'm done journaling, I hop into the shower and I do my affirmations. I tell myself today is going to be a good day, all those kinds of things, how awesome my day is going to be. And then at the same time, I visualize my day while I'm practicing my affirmations. And while I also visualize my future, I visualize what I want out of life, all kinds of stuff. And then I suck at practicing the exercise, but if I do, I get into that 10-20 minutes. I'll do push-ups and sit-ups and some squats and just get the heart moving. I'm fortunate enough to where I can ride my bike to work. So there's 10-15 minutes of exercise right there, ride my bike to work. And of those of you who don't know, I live 2 blocks away from my job. So I actually, if I'm riding my bike to work and I want to get that exercise part in, I go the long way around and make
That's
it like,
a good way.
Yeah, go a different way, and I make it about 3 miles of a ride to work. And then I practice my silence, usually because I live close to the train tracks, so the train, and then I have my cat who I try to keep out of the room if I was to meditate, but he's sitting at the door meowing the whole time, so it's really hard for me to concentrate on my silence. So I wait till I do my silence once I get to work, because it's nice and quiet here. And I get to my job about, an hour before I have to open and stuff. So I can usually get my meditation in. And then additionally, I'm continuing, after I meditate, I continue to visualize. I continue to think about what I want to have and how my day's going to go. And I visualize the stuff I have to do for the job as well. And then I also visualize where I want my podcast to go and where I want my ultimate vision for myself and for my future. I really concentrate on that, and I build on it and make it as ridiculous almost as possible, but I really want to have all those things too. How do you practice your S.A.V.E.R.S, Larry?
What I do first thing in the morning is I do the silence part just like you do, and so I do a prayer of gratitude. After I do that for a bit, that could be from 2 minutes to 5 minutes or whatever, and then I do some meditation and an affirmation, kind of a combination. I do meditation with breathing, and they have different techniques for that. And then once I finish the breathing and meditation, I do the visualization about the way I want the person I'm trying to become and be. And so I visualize that, and then I tell myself some affirmations, kind of like what you do. And then after I've done that, I go down and then I go to my office, and then I do some writing, journaling, really important. And I journal not only just gratitude. Sometimes I'll journal sometimes issues that I'm facing.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah.
And then I'll ask myself a lot of questions.
Yeah.
That'd be another episode, but the art of asking great questions allows you to come up with solutions you may not have seen.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so journaling that, some things I said and did that maybe uplifted someone, or something I noticed that inspired me, I might write that down and say, I really like what this person did. So journaling, really important. And then the exercise, I kind of leverage that with audible tapes. Audio books or whatever.
Yeah.
So I have a trainer downstairs, and I have a Stairmaster too, and some other workout equipment. And so while I'm working out, I am actually listening to Audible, put in some earbuds or whatever in the ear, and I do that. So it kind of maximizes it. I used to read a lot. I have vision problems now, impaired, where it's extremely difficult to read. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty much forced to listen to books. And if there's stuff in writing, I can convert it to audio using Speechify that converts my writing stuff, emails, whatever, to audio. Yeah. And so I listen to stuff like you, and so that helps as well. So that's kind of my savor. What that routine for me is at least an hour, but when I'm working out for a particular long tour riding, I will cycle much longer than an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes 2 to 4 to 5 hours a day.
Yeah, that's no joke. That's one of the areas I really have a hard time getting into is the exercise. Again, I have this awesome sleep habit. I love my sleep.
Who doesn't?
I know, right? And man, I just like waking up this morning was just like
it's tough.
Yeah, it was tough. But
when you get my age, Nick, it's the opposite. If I could get 6 hours of sleep, I'd be alive.
I sit there and wish. I'm like, man.
I struggle. I can't. I don't know. I have an internal clock, and I just wake up.
Yeah,
and it's usually between 4 and 5 in the morning. Sometimes it's 3.
Oh man,
And I wish and going back to sleep is just not as easy. It's just, I don't know what it is.
So I woke up at 4 this morning, and I remember I went and got a glass of water, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I should just stay awake, because if I fall asleep now, getting up at 6 is going to be tough.
So you've been up since 4?
No.
Oh, you went back.
I went back to sleep.
You went back to sleep.
Yeah, and then what do you know? I just wake up as a jolt because I had to meet you here this morning, and just jolt up out of bed, and I'm looking at 6:45. It was like, let me. So I didn't get to I did do my meditation. That's one thing I really hold on to. Make sure that I definitely get in my meditation. If I'm missing on my S.A.V.E.R.S routine, I
definitely get in there.
I definitely get my meditation in, because it really helps me just surrender a little bit, right? Clears my mind. And the reason why this is so important, this whole morning routine is so important, is because our brains are open to the change in the morning. We're open to overriding our habits and open to accepting new thought patterns a little bit easier. And there's actually scientific proof that proves this, that we're still in the brainwave state where our mind is not closed off to change. Our subconscious mind is a little bit more open. And that's why the Miracle Morning is a really positive thing for you to practice. And to tell you the truth, Larry, whenever I first started talking to you, this is one of the first books you recommended that I read. And so I checked it out and really fixing my morning routine, even though it's still rough, but fixing my morning routine and making it to where I did a set amount of things, every morning. Wake up, which I still do. I wake up, but now that the clocks have fallen back, I used to wake up at 8 on the dot, but now I'm waking up at 7. So that's better, and that's helping me out. But I still wake up no later than 7. I get up and I do this stuff. And having, sleep is such a thing, one of those things where it's almost taken for granted. It's not for a lot of people, it's not put into a routine. And having a sleep routine is very important. And then following up with a good established morning routine, like what you can learn about in the Morning Miracle book, which definitely, if there's any book that you're looking for a leap or a start into self-improvement, I recommend this as your first one. And then learn about like all those other books that we mentioned in the previous episode, then read those from there. But definitely start with the Morning Miracle. Morning routine, it really just sets your day right and ready to go.
In the book, there's another book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and it mentions what's called habit stacking. And he says, let's say you've got one habit you've established. Instead of trying to incorporate another habit during the day, which may be more different, he says, let's say you do meditation, and you're very faithful with that, right?
Yeah.
And you think, well, I want to add one more. I want to add journaling. So what you do is you always do meditation. You're pretty adamant about it. You do typically that 90% of the time. And then he says, just add on the journaling.
Yeah.
Which is another 5 minutes, maybe, or 3 minutes. Doesn't have to be 20. Just
No.
a few minutes.
Yeah. I like the rule that you gave me when we first started talking was the 4-minute rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sit down to my journal and I just say, hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes, and then I start writing. And then once that timer's up, I'll do my questions, which we'll talk about questions because that's another big deal. I'll do my questions, and then that timer is over, and then I'll just hit repeat and then start journaling the gratitude. And granted, that's after I've written my paragraph, of like what I see as a problem and what I want to focus on and what I want to fix for the day or for my life or just a certain area that I'm struggling with. And that kind of leads my questions. And after questions, I do gratitude. And then right after I'm done doing that, I have the whole like, man, today's going to be rough and I don't like, why am I up so early and this and that? And then a second I'm done, I write that first gratitude sentence. Like I've mentioned before in the previous podcast, my switch goes off and it's like, all right, cool. Let's go get in the shower. Here's my vision and I'm such a good person. My affirmations, I deserve stuff, and this and that. And then my day is, ready to go. I'm in a good mindset for the rest of the day.
So let me ask you this, Nick. If you've got some habit stacking there right after scribing or whatever, you could set the timer for 10 minutes to do nothing but sit-ups.
Yeah.
Couldn't you?
10 minutes of sit-ups, man.
Or push-ups or whatever,
Yeah, that's a long time.
Do 50 burpees if you know what that is.
Yeah, I know what a burpee is. I used to go to CrossFit.
So
it's
did
not
I.
It's not like it's not like I am foreign to exercise.
No. But I'm just saying, someone who's listening to this could say, I could tack on 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Of just doing one exercise, and then set the timer, like you say, or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then maybe eventually I incorporate 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But during that minutes, they also go, what could I listen to at the same time while I'm doing this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's fair. No, I need to, exercise and me right now are just like, I don't know, we have this love-hate relationship. I like how I feel after I'm done. But getting me to do it, I'm just like, oh. But get me on my bike, though. That's the type of exercise I don't mind.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, that's what we would suggest to anybody listening is find something that's fun.
Yeah.
Some exercise, whether it's cycling or running. I was a runner for 30 years.
Yeah.
I just loved running.
Yeah.
And I would run anywhere from a half hour to 2 hours a day. And that's a lot of running.
Yeah.
And but my knees just got to a point I just couldn't hack it anymore. Too much scopes on my knees. So I switched to cycling, which luckily I came across that.
Yeah. I'm lucky you came across that.
Yeah, that's right.
That's no joke. I tell you what, I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for cycling. But anyways, that's all we really want to talk about today. If you want to enhance your daily routine and, look at really starting to achieve your goals in life and that kind of stuff, get a good morning structure going. And
get maybe an action partner.
Yeah, definitely action partner.
That's what happened to me back 1988, 88, a guy named John He said, I need to get in shape. I said, so do I. And he says, I'm going to be at your doorstep at 6 a.m. I go, really? He was just a couple blocks. So he realized I was there waiting for him, and I realized he was going to be there. So I got up and we started running.
Heck yeah.
And that's where the habit actually started.
Yeah.
And for many years, I had someone that I would exercise with. And that would get me out of it. Because I'll tell you, running 6 a.m. is not my idea of.
No.
It's pretty tough, especially in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
When it's cold. Oof.
Yeah, and just like we've talked about in the past couple episodes, and if you're having a hard time finding those, the Miracle Morning Facebook group.
Yeah, then someone can hold you accountable running. Or if you know someone down the street or a neighbor or whatever that is struggling with that, or they'd like to do it, it makes it much more enjoyable.
And if you're looking for change, and you and your best friend, or both of you guys are hitting a wall and life is getting hard, just talk to them, like say, hey, why don't we try changing?
Yeah.
And hold each other accountable. Struggle together.
Yeah, incorporate the S.A.V.E.R.S program and work together on
it. Yeah, for sure. And then, it's like we've mentioned before, it's accountability partner or your
action partner.
Hold respect for them and make it somebody you don't want to let down, for sure. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I feel like anything else you want to touch on, Larry, before we sign off?
Sounds great.
All right. Well, I'm Nick.
I'm Larry.
And this is the LTL Show. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our bonus episode on the Morning Miracle Routine. Larry and I really recommend that you read the Morning Miracle book and follow the S.A.V.E.R.S morning routine. And if available, find yourself an accountability partner. On our next episode, we will bring on our first guest, Sam Piccolotti, and we will discuss discipline and how you can find and create discipline in your life. As always, Larry and I greatly appreciate you. And thank you for listening.